You all know that I like Tom Clancy games. I've been playing them forever on this channel. Ghost Recon, EndWar, Rainbow Six, Splinter Cell. If it's got Clancy's name on it, then it usually piques my interest. And so The Division is something that I've been looking forward to for a while. So this game is an RPG shooter. And the vibe that I got from it, not long after playing it, was just like if Destiny, Mass Effect, Borderlands, and Ghost Recon, if they had an orgy, and then somebody came in, picked up the DNA, and put together like a test tube baby, this is what would pop out. The Division would pop out. And so for people who like all those games, then that's probably a good thing. And for people like me, I'll explain later on why, it kind of leaves me on the fence. So whenever you first start out, you set up this base camp, and this is where you go to get missions or quests. You upgrade your camp. You can go in and store inventory, buy, sell gear, weapons, things like that. And one thing that I really do like about this is that you can play this game either completely solo or with a group of players. And so there is a story, there's missions to it. Most of the time that I spent playing the beta was actually with a group of players, but I did spend some time by myself just playing around, getting kind of the feel for solo play. So I will say it was kind of strange whenever you first started shooting people in this game because the enemies are like sponges. This is no Ghost Recon or Battlefield, Call of Duty game like that. Even though you take a screenshot of it, it may look like that just from a screenshot. But once you start playing it, it is like those other games that I mentioned, RPG style shooters. So you're going to see health bars. You're going to see points flying off above people's heads. You could put, 2 clips into somebody before you actually kill them. So that kind of part of it is a little bit strange just visually, but something that you got to get used to pretty quickly. Killing enemies is what generates loot, which this is the part of the game that so many people are addicted to in games like this. Like, this is why people live on Destiny and play day after day to get those random loot drops. You can also find loot hiding around the map in different areas. So for a lot of people, this is going to be what's addicting. This is going to be what pulls them in. For me, it's actually probably the biggest turnoff because I'm just not a big fan of the loot system in almost any game. I don't like the randomness. I don't like playing for hours just hoping that you come across something better than somebody else on the map. That's just me. And so you do have these story and mission elements of the game, but once you beat the missions, once you beat the story, once you get online and you start playing it, it sort of feels like you're just playing for the loot, which again, this is a very first impressions video, so I could be totally off on that. But, aside from, just you going out there and having fun, it did seem like you're just playing for the loot, which is going to be hard for me to get into. Now, the one area of the game where I did find that this was a lot more exciting was what's called the Dark Zone, which is basically the PvP portion of the game. So when you're in the Dark Zone, you can go in by yourself or with a team, and the map has NPCs on it as well as other real players. And one thing that I do give Ubisoft credit for is creating a shooter where people don't automatically start shooting at one another. Like, you play all these other, type of survival games and things like that. As soon as somebody sees an enemy, they start shooting at it. But this game, you can do that if you want to. You can kill and shoot anybody. But if you start shooting people who are innocent, you're going to be marked as rogue. And so once you're marked as rogue on the map, then other players can actually see you. They can start and shoot to kill you without placing themselves in a rogue state. So it's a really interesting element of the game because it means that you have to pick and choose your engagements wisely. Like, you don't want to take on a group of people if you're by yourself because they can definitely turn on you and get the upper hand quite easily. So I think it's a great element to the game. The other thing is, once you do get the loot, because this is where you go to get all the better loot, you get the better weapons, you get the better gears, and this part of the game, once you pick up this loot, it's not just like it's yours to keep. You actually have to extract it on the map. So there's different areas of the map that you can go to extract, and what it is you just go to that area of the map, you call in a helicopter, and what's interesting is that everybody around you knows that you just called in this chopper. So there's this message that there's somebody extracting right now. So it takes several moments for the chopper to actually get called in. So that gives people plenty of time to run over. And again, this is one of those interesting elements, because if you see somebody at a chopper and they're getting ready to put on their loot in order to take it out of the game, you could shoot and kill them right there, take their loot, and put it on the chopper yourself. But if there's other people around, then again, they could turn on you, get your loot, and then they would be the ones to capture it. So sometimes you run into areas where people are trying to attack each other while getting on the chopper, but actually what's surprising is that most of the time I see people not shooting each other and actually just, playing nice. They all walk up, everybody puts their stuff on the chopper, and everybody gets their items out with no casualties involved. So again, a really interesting element to the game, because it leaves that unknown. Are the people around you going to turn on you, or is everything just going to, work out fine? So playing online with a squad in the Dark Zone was a lot of fun. Again, though, it mainly felt like I was just playing for loot. Like I was having fun playing with my team and my friends and everything else, but it felt like that was just the main objective, is just to get better loot. So we also had fun doing the missions, or at least I did, and it did sound like most of my friends were really into the game. Like it was something that they said that they were planning on picking up. So for me, I'm probably planning on picking it up as well. Now, if they all would have been skipping it, though, I'm not sure that this game, at least playing the beta, is something that I would have said I gotta have, regardless of whether they get it or not. Like, I just haven't been hooked yet. You get hooked into a game, and it's like you can't wait to get off work to go play it. You just love it. You're just into it. I haven't felt that just yet. And a lot of how good this game is going to be is just going to be based on how much is actually here. Because you look at games like Destiny that look like there could be a ton of potential, look like there could have been a ton of content early on after we played the beta, but then it turned out where it was, you played the beta and that was pretty much it. So once this game gets out, we got to look at it in the full aspect of it, see how much content is actually here, and that's going to determine how good I think this game is actually going to be. If there's a lot of missions, there's a lot of storyline, I think it's something that, I could dump a good amount of time into. If it's something where we're basically just looking for loot, I'm not sure how long it can actually hold my attention. One thing that I will mention, though, is whenever the game does release, I've got good hopes that this is going to be a solid running game, because I haven't run into a whole lot of issues as far as bugs or servers and things like that go. Everybody's talking about the downgrade to the graphics, but, I mean, as big as this map is, as far as, the ton of buildings that you can go into down each and every street pretty much, I think it looks pretty freaking good. And of course, I'm playing it on PC. I've heard the consoles hold up pretty well. So the graphics don't bother me at all. If you played the beta, post below, let me know what your thoughts of the game were. That does it for me, the Red Dragon. I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.